Okay, I got some time before work this morning, so I'm gonna shoot this now. I went to go see Black Adam in theaters this past weekend to kind of cure my my cinematic heartbreak because Halloween Ends fucking ripped it out. This didn't help. Okay, I'll just start here. The after credit scene, yes, that after credit scene that you've seen and talked about already, that's the best part of this movie. And it would have been so much better, and it would have hit a lot harder if literally everyone didn't fucking spoil it before the movie came out. Everyone knew about this going in. They did the same thing with No Way Home. Could you imagine how great No Way Home would have been if you didn't know all three Spider-Men were going to be in it? This fucking culture of having to find out every aspect and detail about a movie before you go see it is fucking exhausting. Like, leave some things up to the audience. This movie is great for future installments to come in the DCEU, but as a standalone piece of work, it's very messy. Before I went to see this, I saw somebody say, "This is far and away The Rock's best performance." Have you seen many movies with him in it? Even as a serious actor, he has better serious roles. Like, this isn't the top of his caliber of acting by any facet. If you want to go serious, he was better in Snitch. He was better in fucking all of the Fast and Furious movies. Most of the time, people don't realize this. We go see The Rock in a movie because he's just being The Rock. He just has the charisma and the charm. But all of that is completely absent in this movie. And I'm not saying that adding this in would have made the character better, but it's just a very watered down version of The Rock, which hurts because I know how much he cared about this movie and I was really excited for it, but the visual effects were actually really, really good and it enhanced all of the action sequences. This movie had a bunch of pretty decent action sequences. The best action sequence, though, was about 30 minutes into the movie when Black Adam is summoned in the cave. He just kills so many people in the span of 5 minutes, and it's fantastic, but the rest of the movie is spent trying to live up to that, in my opinion. I'm far more satisfied with the Justice Society than I thought I would be. Aldous Hodges and Pierce Brosnan were perfect as Hawkman and Dr. Fate. Very convincing. They gave it their all. But when it comes to Atom Smasher and Cyclone, I feel like if you took them out of this movie, it wouldn't be different. I mean, Atom Smasher had a couple little funny jokes that he threw in there, but Cyclone was completely irrelevant as a character. And I feel like another area this movie messes up in is it tries to introduce too much for the movie only being 2 hours. There's too much exposition, and it almost feels like a chore to keep up with everything that they're throwing at you as opposed to just absorbing it naturally and having the information just flow like that. There's a main villain in this movie that's teased throughout, and he finally makes his appearance with like 40 minutes left in the movie, if that. And he just felt so shoehorned in. There was no weight to his character. There were no stakes. There was no thought put into him. And even the design of the character looked really fucking cool. But again, it was just another wasted opportunity. This movie had a surprising amount of humor in it for how dark they wanted it to be. And I'd say half of the jokes landed with me. There was a lot of fish out of the water type jokes where Black Adam isn't familiar with how people use sarcasm, and then he catches on to it. It's all corny. Like, they make movies that are comedies. If you want a joke, go watch a comedy. I will say, though, that Black Adam fits the role of anti-hero a lot better than anything that Sony has tried to put out. Like, Morbius and Venom, you can get a sense that they're pretty much good guys by the end of it. But Black Adam doesn't really give a fuck, and people keep telling him what he should be doing, and he's like, nah, I'm good. I'll just keep killing. And he kills so many people in this movie. However, unfortunately, Black Adam is a prime example of a team saying that they want to go dark and take comic book movies to where they've never been before, but they don't have the balls to execute it. And I know they don't have the balls because this movie had to make edits and cuts to make a PG-13 rating. It was originally rated R, and they removed a lot of the more violent kill scenes to keep the PG-13 rating. I don't know if that's to inflate the box office numbers a little bit, but this movie only made $67 million opening weekend, and that is shit for a superhero movie, especially with The Rock attached to it. DC, give me something better quickly. I don't know if it's going to be Shazam or Aquaman or the fucking Flash, but coming off the Batman, I need something more like that. And I'm not going to compare every DC movie to the Batman because obviously these are going to be different. It's a different universe. But I like something with a little bit more weight to it. Can you blame me?